Hello and welcome to the Power of Charms interview and podcast series. I love to interview interesting women doing impactful things. And today I have a really special guest. Her name is Ashley Adams. And I've known Ashley 15 years. We were members together in a group called Women at the Top. And what I love about Ashley is that she is an attorney. She has her own firm. She's a criminal attorney. There's not a lot of women, I think, in your arena. You are kind of a maverick. I know there's others out there, but you're really making a difference. And I love how you integrate not only what you do, but you also give back to some charities in special ways. So let's get started. I want you to tell me the story because I love you. You shared something about how you'd gone for an interview with a big firm in Phoenix, and they told you that your skirt was too short and your hair was too long, and your mom's like, get out there. So tell me about how you came to own your own firm.
Oh gosh. Well, it's so nice to be here, Kay. Thank you so much. And you're such a special rockin' lady. And I'm so honored to be on your podcast. So thanks for having me today. Gosh, how did I start my own firm? Well, it was really stupid when I did because it was in the middle of the Great Recession in 2009. I had no clients, I had no money, I had no space. I ended up renting a room in the back of one of my friend's law firm. But it was a situation where, and you know this about me, Kay, my first husband got sick with cancer and I had little kids, and I just needed to have more flexibility. And at that time I was working for the federal government, and you have to have set office hours, and it just wasn't working out for me to have to be downtown every day. And so I just hung my shingle. And, I've made every mistake in the book. So if anybody out there wants to call me and if you want to know about what not to do, you're great. But yeah, it's just been great. And, we've grown. We now have 3.5 attorneys. I say a half because we have a summer and a law clerk. So they're not real attorneys, but they're in law school. Mm-hmm. And it's just been a great experience, but it's been a long road. I've been doing this for 32 years almost now.
Since you were a baby.
Since I was a baby. Yes.
I'm sure you get this question. Like there's all different kinds of lawyers. And sometimes people are like, well, how could you be a criminal attorney defending people that have done bad things? What's that about?
I get that so often. And my canned answer is always that, when someone's been charged with a crime, that doesn't make them a criminal. We are lucky to live in a country where you have the presumption of innocence, because that's not true in most other countries around the world. I don't know. Have you ever seen the play 12 Angry Men? Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful play. It's about 12 men deliberating in a homicide case in London, because back then England had a presumption of guilt, and there's one holdout juror in the play, and eventually he convinces the rest of them that the government's case is really weak and the evidence is weak. But anyway, it's fascinating. But yeah, my job is to make sure that my clients' constitutional rights are protected, that were given to us by our forefathers, and, to make sure that justice is done, that they get a fair plea offer, if that's how we're going to resolve it, that they get a fair trial, and, frankly, that they get a fair shake. Mm-hmm. Because oftentimes prosecutors see things through their own lens, and they don't look into the background of somebody or examine why somebody might have done something or not done something. And so that my job is to bring all those mitigating factors to light. So I could say I'm a janitor, but I feel like I do spend a lot of my time, really trying to get to know my clients and bringing out the best in them and showing them in a good light.
Yeah, well, everybody deserves a fair shake and a fair trial. I mean, that's what America is all about. So I commend you. Thank goodness there are people there like you, because I know a lot of people get in situations that they shouldn't be in. So And as we move forward with that, I also want to talk about not only do you spend most of your time doing that, but you also do a lot of philanthropic work. And some of it it ties in with those organizations that support people that have maybe been through the system or have fallen upon hard times. You work with one of the charities that I work with called Smiles and Beyond, which is a lovely, lovely
That's
organization.
right.
It helps people that have had, fallen on misfortune through incarceration or maybe through drugs, and they've lost their teeth. And as we all know, just having a basic smile sometimes is what you need just to lift you up and give you a new life. So tell me about your work with them.
I really came to know them through another organization called Sister Ministries. And also one of my dear friends is involved in Smiles and Beyond, and her sister-in-law. And so they brought me in because, they are all about giving people that I represent a new start as well.
Mhm.
And they do amazing work. So many people who have lost their teeth, they're afraid to do job interviews and they're afraid to smile. And it's amazing how smiles can open doors and help people get jobs. It's just a very special organization of dentists and labs, believe it or not, that make all the teeth for all the clients. And they have a wonderful event every year, which we usually sponsor. We also support an organization called Sister Ministries. And so it's a big room inside a church, and there's dresses and shoes and sheets and pillows and towels. So when women are released from prison, they can go there and pick out things that they need to get started. So I try to keep, my philanthropic focus on that. We also do a lot of work with the Criminal Justice Act. We represent indigent defendants who have a conflict with the Federal Public Defender's Office, and it's all in federal court, and it's really fun. And I have to say, those are some of my most favorite clients because they're so appreciative, and we always keep in touch with them and check on them and make sure that they're doing okay out there in the world. And God willing, a lot of them do. So we're really proud of our clients that get out of prison and are able to make something of themselves.
Yeah, and thank goodness you're there really to help them. I mean, that is such an important role that you're playing. And I don't think a lot of people are aware of that. So, one of the things that I really encourage businesses to do, and as a lawyer, you're a business, is align yourself with a cause. I mean, I think many of our social ills will never be solved by the government. It takes private individuals and private businesses to step up, just like you in the way that you're doing, and make an impact through cause marketing, through alignments. Lots of other businesses and that provide services that can also help charities that you work with. And it's a whole cycle of what I want to say, inspiration and support.
Yeah, if I had my dream, and of course the money, which is always the issue when you're talking about charity, right?
Always.
I would love to build a transitional center for, previously incarcerated people to go where they can work on a resume, or partner with businesses that will hire convicted felons. That's a big challenge, and just a place where they can go and feel safe and ask questions and meet other people and have a place to go, but really to help them with the resources that they need. The probation departments, they try to do that, but they're stretched so thin. They just don't have the manpower, frankly, to give some of these folks the services they need. For example, where do I go for an AA meeting? Just simple things like that.
Yeah, I worked with an organization a while ago that really had an impact on me. It's called the Homeless ID Project. And people don't realize these things, but homeless people, they don't know what their social security number is. They have no address.
Right.
So all these services that you can go that are available, these people can't even take advantage of them because they don't know how to sign up for it.
Well, they can't cash a check. Like we have a situation right now where we're setting up a power of attorney for a client who's going to be incarcerated for 6 years and who has no one, and setting up an account for them. And, there's just so many things that a lot of people don't think about or know about. And, we try to do our best to help our clients, and especially if they want help, we're there for them for sure.
Right. So I always like to ask about industry trends, and gosh, we have so many things changing now. Now that things are being legalized with marijuana,
Yes.
is that a huge trend that you're seeing in your industry? Can you talk to us about what's going on?
Well, I mostly do white collar, but I will tell you, just yes, but also just recently, the legislature passed an expungement bill. So anybody who has a marijuana conviction, and there's some limits to that, but they can apply to have it expunged. I know there's going to be a ton of questions when you're talking about driving a vehicle or working, and whether or not you're impaired, and whether you can fire somebody who has a medical marijuana card. I mean, there's so many issues that come with the legalization, but I think what we're seeing is an uptick in DUIs that are marijuana related. And then the question is, was the person impaired? And of course, there's no easy answer to that. So,
Don't have like an easy test.
yeah, there's just not an easy test, but I really haven't seen just dramatic changes like a lot of people thought, but it's just new. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I think the impairment issue is going to be really big.
Yeah, I'm seeing it everywhere. And it's a whole new frontier.
Here too. I'm sorry, Kate.
Yeah. Hey, I have a personal question for you. So women of a certain age, right? We all have our own.
What do you mean a certain age?
I know you're a lot younger than I am.
Oh, I'm not.
I think so.
I just have one of those things on my screen to make it look better.
Yeah, like it fixes your complexion, thank God. I was on another, what is it? Anyway, another platform, and I was like, why do I look so bad? I realized it didn't have the filter. So
you gotta have the filter. You gotta have it.
You gotta have the filter. Okay, so what's your recipe for success and health? And are you a meditator? Are you an exerciser?
Oh, I should meditate and I should do yoga, but I do have a habit of getting up every day, and I usually walk my dog, and I usually go to the gym. My husband teases me because he says, you go to the gym to read the paper, but at least I'm like on the Stairmaster, and I'm reading, but it kind of helps me start my day off, so my head's clear.
Sure.
And so I really like that, and I think the secret to success is just helping people, as much as you possibly can. I think the more you give, the more you get back. And there's so much to that. I always tell my daughter, the more you put into college, the more you're going to get out. And that's true with everything. I think the more you care about people, they can sense that. And the more rewarding your job is going to be. But in terms of exercise, I'm not the best at that. I try.
There's always room for improvement. Hey, tell me a little bit about your daughter, Maddie. She had you and Maddie had a tough time. You lost your husband to cancer. And you started a fund called, it's the Maddie's Daddy Foundation?
Yeah, Maddie's Daddy Foundation. Yeah, I was actually not married to John at the time when he got cancer, but we were very good friends, and we lived near each other, and we worked together. But we started a foundation called Maddie's Daddy Foundation. And, we noticed after John passed that there were so many kids that needed grief counseling that just couldn't afford it. A lot of insurance doesn't cover counseling, and the good counselors are expensive. And so we partnered with a group called New Song, which is over they're located in Episcopal Church in Phoenix, and they do group therapy for kids who need grief counseling. But we provide funds and a system of counselors for kids to get individualized grief counseling. So yeah, it's a really cool organization. I've kind of passed the baton off to my daughter though now. She's, I told her, I said, I'll keep it alive till you're 21, but she's starting to have some events and things like that. So I really created it for her.
Well, I mean, what a wonderful thing to have ingrained in your daughter, and to give her that special purpose. to rise above a very difficult situation. So I applaud you.
She's a stud. She's a sophomore at the University of Oklahoma, and I am super proud of her. And it's just I'm one of those glowing, geeky parents that's super proud of my child.
Well, you
I
should.
have pictures all over my computer of her,
You should.
I know.
Yeah.
Except the judges like frown at me, like, could you take your daughter off the screen when you're in court? I've had that happen. I'm like, oops. Or my dog.
Well, yeah, I have my dog, I have my mom, I have my,
Oh yeah.
I think that, and I think that's one of the kind of fun things too that's happened during the pandemic is that we've gotten to know each other personally a little bit more. Because like I could be sitting in the whole, group of WAT women at our meeting, and I might get to talk to you for a couple seconds or whatever, but you can get on a Zoom call and really interact with people, and then their dog will be running across the room, or the child will come in. Yeah. And so it's kind of fun, and we're going to see what happens now. I think everybody had kind of loosened up a little bit, and now here we go again with the pandemic again in the fall. So
well, you've done a great job leading our WAT group, and Kay is our chairwoman. And, it's not always easy to lead 50 women. They're especially strong women. And right. Everybody has their ideas and opinions about things, but you are a fabulous leader, and we're very grateful to have you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, especially when I'm kind of a solopreneur and don't interact one-on-one with a lot of people all the time. So it's been really, really fun. Yes. Well, is there anything, Ashley, that we have not talked about that you want to share with people? Are you looking for new clients? How can people reach out and get in touch with you?
Well, we are, our website is www.azwhitecollarcrime.com. We are located, we're in Old Town, just as if anybody goes to spring training, we're just south of the San Francisco Giants spring training facility. So especially during spring training, come by. Sometimes we're in the parking lot handing out free stuff. We usually give out these little Adams and Associate fans or waters or something fun like that during the season. So come by and see us. We are just grateful because clients come to us in the strangest ways, but usually by word of mouth. And so we're very blessed in that way.
That's the best way to get clients, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I forgot to ask you? This is called the Power of Charms. And I believe in wearing symbols that mean something to you. And so I asked you, because we're developing our line of charms. We have about 40 styles right now. But is there a symbol that has a lot of significance to you in your life?
Yes. Well, I never thought about that until you asked me that question. And then it just popped in my mind. And of course, I have to say the blindfold that Lady Justice wears. And a lot of people don't really know, like, why is she wearing a blindfold? That's weird. But, it really symbolizes that justice should be rendered, without passion, without bias. That's a hard thing to fathom, right? Because we're human beings. Mm-hmm. And so we bring to every decision that we make our backgrounds and our biases. But the blindfold is supposed to symbolize that we should base our evaluation of the case on the facts that are on the scales and not, our personalized beliefs. So I, of course, have to say the blindfold.
Yeah.
And thank you for asking that.
The Lady of Justice is holding scales, right? And has the blindfold.
Right. And then she has the blind, which, Justice is blind.
Well, so. I feel a charm in the making.
Yes. And I wore my charm necklace for you today. I don't have a lot of charms, but I wore the ones that my daughter's given me. So.
Oh, I love that. It's just so interesting. When I talk to all the women that I interview, it's like charms have such a personal little thing. And it's a way to kind of brand yourself and tell your story. And then they inspire conversations too. So.
Absolutely.
We're having lots of fun asking people what their symbols are and just bringing awareness to the impact that symbols can have on people's lives. So it's been a very fun project, an ongoing
Well,
project.
we would love for you to develop a charm for us. That would be so fun.
Well, we will do that indeed. Well, listen, I appreciate you being my special guest today. It's been really interesting. I think you're the first attorney that I've interviewed.
Oh,
So
yeah. Attorneys can be pretty boring.
yeah, but what you do is very interesting, and you own your own firm, and you also tie it in with philanthropy. So I just love what you do, and I thank you for your service too to all the people that really need it.
Well, thank you, Kay. It's just always a pleasure to see you every week.
Oh, you too,
When I
Ashley.
make it, when I get out of bed.
When you get yeah, because our meetings are at 7:30. So yeah. But it's worth it. Anyway, listen, have a great week. I guess I'll see you tomorrow morning at our wonderful walk group.
Well, thank you for including me. Take care.
You bet. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.